Hi, in this tutorial we're going to be looking at the quiz activity. So, if you've been following our series of tutorials, you'll notice that I've added a section to this example course called Technology, which holds a few Microsoft Office documents and a couple of links. So at this juncture in the course, I might want to test the student's knowledge using the quiz activity. So I'll show you just what the quiz activity can be used for and how to easily add questions to the quiz as well. Okay, so once you've chosen your quiz from the activity chooser, you'll be thrown straight into the quiz settings. So I'm first going to give my quiz a name, Technology Quiz, no introduction necessary. If we go through all our settings in turn, we first got timing, and this allows you to make the quiz available from a certain day or make it available until a certain date. You can set a time limit or you can set this submission grace period as well. Underneath we've got grade category. We've only got the option of uncategorized. Attempts allowed, I think I'll select 2 for my students, and the highest grade out of those 2 will count. So here we have the layout options. You can order your questions either randomly or in the order that you've selected on the edit screen. You can have 1 question per page, or you can have up to 50 questions per page. It all depends on the type of question really. If you have lots of essay questions, you'll probably want to give them one page per question, whereas if you've got multiple choices, you might want to give them more like 10 per page. It's really up to you. I'm going to leave it as 1 question per page. And yep, sequential navigation as opposed to free, that way they can't skip out any questions if they wanted to. Okay, next we have question behavior. Shuffle within questions. Yes, why not? This just means that each quiz will be slightly different, so anyone looking over your shoulder while you're attempting it might be a bit thrown off. How questions behave, using this you can either choose to display feedback after each question or display all the feedback for all the questions at the end. I think that's fine for our needs. Do we want each attempt to build on the last? No, we don't. We want each attempt to be graded separately. Okay, next we've got review options. I won't go into these too much, but I suggest you do a dry run of your quiz after you've created it, so you know what the students are going to see. If you spot anything which you think the student shouldn't see, you can come back in here and untick it. Okay, next we've got display. We don't want to use a picture. We don't want a decimal place in the grades, or those grades, and we don't want to show blocks during quiz attempts. This just stops students getting halfway through an attempt and then clicking out of the quiz into something else and losing their attempt. You can then set some extra restrictions, which I'm not going to do. And you can set feedback. So this is the feedback which we set up here to be deferred, so it appears at the end. So if they get 100% in the quiz, well done. If they get between 70 and 100%, great job. And if they get 50 to 70%, well done. You might want to look at the support resources. Okay, and you can have as many of these as you want. The 3 will probably do for this example. You can then set the quiz to be answered by groups or groupings. That works in a similar way to the wiki that we looked at earlier, but I'll leave that for now. And then these 2 we're going to discuss in the completion tracking tutorial. That'll be quite interesting, you might want to check it out. It enables you to set a pass mark on this quiz and have the next section of the course only being accessible by the students once they've achieved that pass mark on this quiz. You might notice that we've set up the quiz, but we haven't actually looked at any questions yet. First, I'm going to manually add questions to this quiz. So here are all the types of questions you can add to a quiz. They should be fairly self-explanatory. We'll try and stay away from the calculated ones for this example and focus more on the simple multiple choice true or false ones. Essay questions also quite useful, but you need to select manual grading in the settings. So we're going to manually add our first question. What colour is the sky? And we'll just elaborate on that slightly. Default mark 1. So here you can give your question a weighting. So if this was an important question, I might put 5 there and have all the other questions as 1. That way it would count more towards the final percentage that the students are given. We're only going to let them select one of our multiple choice answers, and we'll shuffle them. So our first answer is the correct one. This can be anything because the question's already going to be shuffled. Choice 1, blue. Choice 2, green. And that's, well, none. That's incorrect. Okay, choice 3, again, grade none, because it's incorrect. I'll choose perhaps purple. And I'll give it some feedback. Wrong. That's enough choices for now. You can also select combined feedback, so you give correct for some correct feedback and wrong for some incorrect feedback. You can then penalise students for getting multiple tries wrong. I'm going to leave that at 0, so there's no penalty. And you can also add hints to the question as well. These are quite detailed settings for such a simple question. This is why importing them in bulk can save you quite a lot of time. Okay, over to the right of our page, we have this section which says question bank contents. Now you'll notice that there are 2 questions in here, both pretty much the same, and I can add either of them to my quiz just by pressing these 2 black arrows here. Okay, so we've now got 2 questions. So this is quite an easy way of adding questions via the question bank. Also, if you create a question within the question bank, you can choose where you want to save it. So you can save it either on a system level, on a category level, or on a course level. So if, for example, you want to create questions which can be used in a quiz on multiple courses, you'll probably want to save those questions to a question bank on the category level. This way you can simply import the same questions into each quiz without having to duplicate them. Equally, if you know your questions are going to be asked across multiple courses which are in different categories, you can just as easily save the questions to the system route, which allows you to access them from any course anywhere on the site. What you can also do is bulk import questions into the question bank. This can save you quite a lot of time. So first I'm going to delete these 2 questions here. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the course. Back on the course page, if you scroll down to settings, course administration settings, you'll see that there's a question bank button here. Okay, so we're on our question bank, which has 0 questions at the moment. We could add a question by clicking this Create a New Question button. What we're going to do is we're going to import questions. So this can save a lot of time. If you scroll down and look under Settings, you'll see an Import button. Now, on the Using Moodle 2 course, there's a folder under Quizzes which has templates for each of the types of question. So first we'll start off by importing some essay questions. At the top of your template there'll be some instructions which you have to delete before you go ahead and import. But after you've deleted those instructions, what you'll be left with is the questions themselves, simply followed by a set of curly brackets. Then you want to save those questions in text format and choose Gift from here. Gift is just the manner in which the questions followed by some formatting, so we've got the two curly brackets in this case. Choose Gift format and then go to Upload and choose Essay Questions. Look at that. All the questions from our text document have now been imported into our question bank, which is great. So I'll click Continue and I'll open up the multiple choice because this is slightly more complicated. So as you can see, we've got some instructions, okay, and we've got our question followed by a set of curly brackets and 4 answers. Okay, 3 of the answers have a wavy hyphen next to them. This means that they're incorrect, and 1 answer has a equal sign and then the answer. This is the correct answer. So when the students go to choose an answer, any of these will be deemed incorrect, whereas that one will be deemed correct. So this saves so much time going through each question's settings and setting the correct one, feedback, etc. You could then, on the quiz, after you've imported all of these questions, on the quiz, you could set general feedback. So for every correct answer, well done. For every incorrect answer, you might want to look at the supporting documents. So I'm going to import these questions as well, I think. So I'm going to delete all the instructions, save this on my desktop as multiple choice questions, save. Then back in Moodle, I'm going to go back to import, gift format, save it to the course rather than the category. I don't think these questions are going to be used in another course. So I'll choose a file, multiple choice questions, upload, import. So they're the same questions, but if I hit continue, you'll see that there's a different icon next to half the questions. That's because these are multiple choice, whereas these are essay. So now if I go back to our course, and then go back to our quiz, we've got 2 empty pages. I can select all of these questions and click Add to Quiz. Brilliant. So I'm going to go back to the quiz itself, and I'm actually going to take the quiz. Broccoli and cauliflower belong to which type of family of plants? No idea. But you get the gist. I hope this tutorial's been useful and you now feel comfortable using quizzes in Moodle. Thanks.